Welcome to our first session on UI5 and Fiori training. In this class, as I promised, we will start with the basics of UI5 and Fiori. So in order to learn UI5 and Fiori, we need to have some idea about the core technologies like HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. So our entire course is actually divided into four parts, four phases. So first will be the foundation for HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. Then we will talk about the UI5 framework and controls. Then we'll get into the Fiori introduction and application development, mobile application development. Why we need Fiori, all of that we will understand. And then we will go to the OData service development. This course, what you've joined is a weekday batch, wherein will be the schedule for this weekday batch. So there will be every day 1 hour of class starting from today till December 30th. And the timings will be 7 a.m. India time. So accordingly your time zone, the timings would subjected to change. Now, the blog access will be valid till 8 months from the starting date, and you would need the server access only for the last 10 sessions if you would like to practice OData services. So all these details are available into our blog. So this particular blog we have created for both the weekday and weekend batch started last Friday for the demo. In this blog, you will get the complete end-to-end idea of your course progress. So the first section itself is the home page where you see the preferred option. Second page is the course content where you can browse what are all the topics which you will be looking into while going through this course. In the class schedule, you will get the list of calendar requests. So if you see, there's a list of calendar requests over here where you can actually find out. Indresh, can you please mute your line?
Yeah, sorry.
So all the sessions which are scheduled are available here in this calendar, you can see. So every day, 7 a.m. India time, we have the sessions you can see here. So let's say if I would like to see whether there's a session or not, I can simply come here and see. You really don't have to keep following up with me over the emails, Anubhav, whether we join the class or not, are you available, not, everything is available here. If there is not a class for let's say certain reason on a day, you will not see this calendar request over here. So you just click on this and you will get the link to join the class also. So these links are subjected to change. So always I request you to please follow the calendar request to see the latest link. And then we have the session recordings. Whatever we go through, everything will be recorded and all the recordings will be available here in this section. So since the same block is used for weekend batch also, the weekend batch recordings will be available, and weekday batch recordings will also be available here for you to watch later point of time while you are practicing. So you will only have the access for the weekday classes, weekday recordings, not the weekend recordings. Okay. And then you have the demo classes, whatever the first demo what we had, for that whatever we recorded, that is also present here for your reference. You can check that, the new demo. I will also post the OOPSABAP videos. As I promised, the OOPSABAP complimentary videos will be given along with this course. So when the right time comes in, I will post those videos. You can easily learn OOPSABAP basics with those videos. Very informative videos. Even though you have idea about OOPSABAP, it is my recommendation you once go through with them. You get some important information which would be relevant for you. All the session presentations in study material will also be posted over here. So in this you see there's a weekday folder where whatever we develop, we will be posting it. So you can see in the last class of weekend batch, I have created a PPT and I've created a HTML file, which is also I've pasted over here. Similarly, we will be doing it so. Then coming to the next part, all the useful links, whatever links which I probably discuss in the session will be available over here. You really don't need to note down during the class. If at all I'm discussing about an important link. Yeah, so all the links will be available over here in the link section. So you can directly browse to the websites, whichever is relevant for us. Then you can track the course progress using attendance sheet. I will be quickly posting this. I'll start building this over a period of time so that you can track the progress of the course. If at all still you have any questions or problems, you can always call me on these numbers. My contact details are available over here in contact me section. And then you can also go to the discussions and blog posts where if at all you have any questions or doubts, you can always post it. So here you can post all your doubts along with the project. So let's say you can see here there was one doubt. One of the student Padma, um, she was facing an issue with regard to the Google Map integration on UI5. So she has posted the project here. You can see she's telling that creating this and facing this problem and could not find the solution. And then she posted the RAR file, project file. So what I did is I took it, I put it in my Eclipse, check the response, get the correction done, inform the relevant person about what was the problem, and repost again the corrected project. And that is how it works. So any questions, any doubt, whatever you get, you can always create a post here, just like SDN. You can see a lot of people have created a lot of posts. This is very helpful indeed when you're sharing the knowledge. You can see a lot of people are creating a lot of posts. You can, really see that people are asking questions and I'm answering them, and that way we will all learn something new. So you might also have similar questions in your mind regarding something, right? So those can also be answered like this. Yeah, so this is about introduction of our blog. You will be connected to me through this blog entirely. You really don't have to go anywhere else for any study material looking. And that's a major problem when we are studying something new. We really need to do lot of Google, and things are not in a flow. So but here with this blog we will be going into a proper flow, covering end to end things from the scratch. Yeah, so that's about the blog. Now let me minimize this and we will quickly start with our first session, which is on HTML5. Yeah, so as I promised, we will start with the basic foundation for UI5, which is nothing but HTML5. So I will be discussing about HTML5 in this chapter, the uses of HTML5, and how HTML5 is important for us to learn, and we will see some practical exercises relevant for HTML5. Okay. Now, let me first show you the installation. What are all the installations we need? Okay, there is one question here from Naganjana. It's about can we get certification material of UI5 and Fiori? No, I personally not certified in UI5 and Fiori, so I will not be able to provide any certification material for UI5 and Fiori. Yeah, so there are on internet you will find some dumps about these certifications which you can use and implement it. Yeah, so I will not be providing any dumps for certifications. Okay, now coming here, we will start with first very important thing is setting up our environment for practicing things. So we will be using Eclipse environment, which is free of cost. So Eclipse is free, okay, and easy to use. And why we using Eclipse is because it is used in all the companies to do development for UI5 apps. Okay, so all the companies, even Eclipse is used to do the development. So if you are familiar with Eclipse environment, it will be quite easy for us also to quickly go and work with real-time projects also. So many of you may not be aware of Eclipse environment and all of that. Don't worry. We will start something from very basic. So first we'll start with the installation. What are all the prerequisites and what are all the installation steps to install the Eclipse and set up the environment into our system so that we can we can practice UI5 and Fiori, right? So that is the important thing now. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to start with the installation of JDK. So we need to first install JDK in our system. So let me show you how to install JDK. Just quickly go to our blog. You can see useful links, and here you will see Eclipse installation and JDK installation links. Yeah, you can also do the Google. So I go to JDK installation link, and you can see it directly takes me to the Oracle websites where I can go and download the JDK. You can see here Java SE Development Kit JDK. I can just say accept the license agreement, and whichever is my operating system, according to that, I will just click on this exe. It will start downloading the JDK in my system, and then I can quickly install that in my system. Okay, so that's about JDK installation. And next thing, what you guys need to do is install Eclipse. So I click on the Eclipse link into our blog. It directly takes you to the Eclipse package for Kepler. So Eclipse comes with different versions. So we will be using the Kepler version of Eclipse. Okay, Kepler version. So you can see it has directly the link which is posted on the blog. It directly takes us to the Kepler version for Eclipse. Yeah. So you can also see on the left the Kepler package. Just click on that and you can see these are different IDEs. So which IDE you should use is Eclipse IDE for Java and DSL developers. This is the better one. So just based on your operating system and versions of operating system, you can download the Eclipse package. Now, how do you make sure whether your JDK installation and Eclipse installation is successful? The very first thing is you got to go to your computer. You got to go to your C drive. So let me just take you to the computer, the C drive. And in the C drive of your computer, you should be able to see a program files folder and then a Java folder. And you can see here inside the Java folder, I can see the JDK folder is created. So this is the evidence that your JDK installation is successful. So you got to see this JDK folder in your system. If it is available, means your JDK is installed properly in your C drive, program files, and Java if you are in the Windows operating environment. Now, next is what we will see is the Eclipse installation. So Eclipse installation is typically not a kind of installation. It's just like copy paste. So when you download the download the Eclipse package, it will create a folder in your computer. So in my computer, it has created a folder called Eclipse folder. So when I download that file and extract it, it creates an Eclipse folder. And in this Eclipse folder, you will see these are all the files which are created, which means your Eclipse installation is also successful. So you got to double click on this Eclipse icon. What you see an icon over here, Eclipse icon, and it will then start the Eclipse Kepler version. Okay, you can see it is starting the Eclipse Kepler version. If you face any issue, you can always refer the blog, or you can also post your questions into the blog. Very simple step, only just 2 steps. Install JDK and download the Eclipse Kepler version. For both of them, the links are already available into the blog. You really don't have to do even Google for anything. And you can see here it has actually opened up the files. So let me introduce you with the environment. So this is typically any software development kit what you usually see in development. Like SE38 also have a similar look. So you have a menu bar on the top for creating project, running the project, deploying the project, navigating to different sections and different debugging options. Yeah. Then bottom below that you have a menu bar where you can have quick functions to quickly go and press the button and do the things which you can also do using menu bar. So these are quick functions in the menu bar. And then we have on the left the project explorer. where we can explore all our projects. Now sometimes what happens is when you start your Eclipse new, you will not see this project explorer on the left. Okay, you just installed Eclipse and you came in here and you are unable to see this option. So to enable this particular option, what we typically do is we go to help, we go to Windows, and we choose open perspective, and we choose other. So okay, so we choose other, and here we will probably select the Java EE perspective. So when you select Java EE perspective, it will bring in the project explorer, as well as there is at the bottom you will also get a server explorer. These two things will come up when you choose this Java EE perspective. Okay, so I would recommend you to add the Java EE perspective as well as web perspective into your Eclipse. So once you add these perspective and say okay, you will see that on the top right corner these perspectives are added. So you can see when I switch to web perspective, the project window is collapsed. I can, it's a complete coding area what I get. And when I come to Java EE perspective, I get my project explorer again. So these are just perspectives, different views of this particular screen. So this is a different perspective, and now you can see on the left we get the project explorer. One more very important thing when you set up the Eclipse new. So let's say you just started with Eclipse and it's pretty new. The moment you open the Eclipse for the first time, okay. So next step was download and extract Eclipse. So next time is when you open the Eclipse for the first time. What will happen is it will ask for a workspace. What is a workspace? Workspace is nothing but whatever we are creating, we are basically creating content, web content or files, right? It's a website kind of stuff what we are building here. So all the web content will be stored somewhere in our computer, right? Whatever files you create, let's say you created a document file, you need to store that document file somewhere in your computer, right? Similarly, when we create using Eclipse any file, which is an HTML file or JavaScript file, we got to store that file somewhere in our computer. Yeah, so that's what exactly a workspace is. So workspace is nothing but it's a folder in our computer. It's a directory or it's a folder in our machine, in our computer, which will hold, store all the files which we create. And here these files are called web content because we are creating websites basically. So these are called web content. All these files will be stored. So it's a folder in our computer which will store all the files, all the web content files. So in my computer, I have actually marked my D drive. In my D drive, I have created it the workspace. So just create a folder in your computer somewhere and connect your Eclipse with that folder. So whatever content you see, I've created lot many projects. All these projects actually you see on the left will be created into that folder. So that later point of time you can go and quickly share it with me or with anyone also. So if I show you in my D drive, I have created SAP UI5 folder. You can see this is the folder. You can see all these are different um, projects. You can see, yeah, all these are different projects which I have created. You can see, right? So this is how we can actually achieve it. All these are different projects what we have. So in my D drive, I have created this SAP UI5 folder, which is my workspace. Okay. Now let's start with our HTML session now. So where we'll talk about HTML and the uses of HTML and different versions of HTML which are present. So what is HTML? The very basic, very first thing which comes in our mind, what is HTML? HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Okay, it is not a programming language, it's a markup language. As you can see in the name, it's a markup language, it's not a programming language, which means it doesn't have capability to do operation, logical and conditional operations like 2 plus 2, like if condition. All of that it cannot perform because it's not a programming language, it's a markup language which is based on HTML tags. Okay, so it's based on HTML tags. And who define these rules of the game? Who create these tags? Okay, who create these tags? These tags will be created by whom? So there is a company called W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. These are all the people who actually decides what are all the standard tags to create something on the screen. And these are all the people who actually release the versions of HTML as well. Okay, so if you look at this, these are all the people who are the pioneers, who are the people who actually release the versions of HTML, like SAP ECC version. Who released SAP ECC version? SAP itself. Similarly, these are all the people who actually release the versions of HTML. They are the pioneers. Okay, so the World Wide Web Consortium, they are the people who actually release the versions of HTML and decides what are the tags which will be available with the HTML. Now all the browsers companies, all the browser vendors like Google Chrome, Microsoft Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Apple Safari, all these people will comply to the guidelines provided by World Wide Web Consortium, W3C. So these people provide you the guideline. All the major browser vendors will comply to the guidelines provided. The advantage of using HTML is you really don't need additional layering. Your browsers can directly understand what is written. Okay, so browsers can directly understand the HTML. Okay, so whatever HTML you have written, you really don't need any additional compiler to actually compile your piece of code. The browsers already, all the browsers already has the capability to understand HTML. Okay, so you really don't need additional compiler. Like if I can also write HTML piece of code into a notepad and save that notepad as an HTML file and open it, I will see the response. But I cannot write an ABAP code in a notepad and run it because I need the basis system to compile and run the ABAP code. So unlike that, we have all the browsers who directly understand the HTML. Yeah. Okay. So here is one question from Naganjana. In real time, how are we going to do this folder? Do we need to deploy again into a server? We don't deploy the whole folder into the server, Naganjana. What we do is we right click on the project and we deploy the project into our server. So we still have the local workspace storing all our files, because when something is there in your computer, then only you can edit it. Later point of time, you can sync your project with the server. Okay, so I will show you that how to deploy our project into a real-time web server. Also we will see how to deploy our project into a HANA cloud platform, but that is something which we will do in the deployment. The entire development process itself is very simple. So you will first have an idea, you will do the design phase, then you do the coding phase, and then you talk about the deployment, right? So deployment is the last stage after you are ready with the project. So I cannot right away start with the development because currently we are in very beginning stage where we're just learning basics, we are preparing our foundation, right? So definitely we will see examples how to deploy our project with ABAP repository as well as HANA cloud platform. Okay, give me a minute, I'll be back in a minute. I'll just get some water and then we will start. So in the meantime, just look at this line, what we have over here. I'll be back in a minute. Yes. So now, as we discussed about W3C, W3C has released different versions of HTML. Now, every HTML, what we see, every HTML is also known as HTML document. So whenever we use HTML, we typically create an HTML document. So every HTML file is also known as HTML document. Now, what we will have in this document? The first line of this document will contain the type of the document or the version of the document. So, first line we will have the version of HTML used to prepare this document. Okay. It will also tell the browser. It will also inform. So when you open a file into the browser will look at the first line. It will also inform the browser that the content which is written is an HTML content inside. Okay. This is the important thing. Now every HTML document will also have two important parts. So every document will also have two components, two major components. First is called header of HTML. It's called head tag, head tag, and second component is called body tag. You can see head and body like human beings. Human beings also has head part and body part. Head is the brain of human body, and body is the complete structure of the human itself. So similarly, here in HTML, what we have is we have the head part, which contains the metadata information. It contains the metadata information about the HTML page or HTML document, what you are creating. Then next is the body part. What is body? Body is nothing but the content what user will see while opening this HTML. So whatever you put inside the body, that is what will be visible to the user. User will not see ever the head part of the HTML. So content what we wish to display to the user is what we will put in the body part of HTML. Okay. So head part and body part will be two components of our HTML document. Now, let's look at the different versions of HTML released by W3C over period of time. So W3C World Wide Web Consortium have released different versions of HTML over a period of time. So we will be discussing about those versions now. So what was the version name and when it was released? So first version of HTML was HTML, which was the starting of 1991, where the boom of World Wide Web has emerged. All the website and website building has become so popular in this time. And then HTML 2.0 have come in 1995, and then later on HTML 3.2 was released in way back in 1997, and then HTML 4.01 was released in 1999, and then HTML which was known as XHTML was released in year 2000, and then HTML5, which is the latest version of HTML going on in the market, was released way back in last year 2014. So if you look at here, HTML has evolved its technology from the beginning of 1991 to 2014. A lot of new developments have happened from W3C side. A lot of new tags have been introduced. After we complete HTML5 introduction, you will clearly be able to tell the difference between older versions of HTML and HTML5. Very important interview question. The difference between HTML5 and older versions of HTML. Okay, nobody specifically asks you what is the difference between 2.0 and 5. but they can ask you HTML5 and older versions of HTML. What is the advantage of using HTML5? That is what people will ask in an interview. So we will also try to explore the answer of this interview question during our class. Okay, so as you can see, HTML5 is nothing but is the latest version of HTML, which was released in 2014. So if somebody asks you what is HTML5, you say simple answer will be HTML5 is the latest version of HTML, okay, which was released in year 2014. Then they will ask you what is the advantage. This is what we will explore during our class, line by line. Okay, now we will start, and I will show you some example into the Eclipse. We will create a very basic HTML file, and we'll see how to use this HTML file. So let me start with Eclipse. So we all set it up the Eclipse environment by now, and now we just say right click, new, and I choose project. Okay, I create a new project, and here in this project you will see there's an option called web. This option will be available to you in your Eclipse also, and you choose static web project. Okay, static web project, say next, and here you got to give your project name. Okay, so let me give the project name as weekday basics. Okay, a project already exists with this name, so probably we will just give the name as weekday foundation. Okay, so this is our project which will encapsulate all the project files, and you can see here it's telling me where the files will be stored. So you can see in my project workspace, which is D drive SAP UI5 folder, this project file and along with the project details will be saved. Okay, just got to say finish. So it will create quickly a project, and it automatically switch to the web perspective. So I can just come back to the Java EE perspective to show you that this project is created on the left. You can see now the web content folder is empty because we have not created any web content file till now. So now we got to create our first HTML file to actually test it. So right click here and say new, and choose a file type as HTML file. Okay, HTML file, and here we can give our file name whatever we wish to give. So I just say weekday day 1. Okay, that's my file name. I say finish, and you can see automatically an HTML file with header and body is created. Let me show you the content of this. So clearly we will be able to see a discrimination between the content. So you can see first statement itself tells what type of HTML version it is. So doc type HTML itself is saying that it's a latest version. Always it's an HTML5 representation. So this will also tell the browser that this particular file is actually an HTML type of file. So treat it like an HTML. And then you see there's a complete HTML tag which represent the HTML document. Okay. And then this HTML document has two components, header component and body component. In the head component, you will see there's a meta tag. What is meta? Meta stands for metadata. It actually tells different properties to the browser. Okay, and then we have a title tag which will basically tell the browser about the title of the page, and then you have the body tag of the HTML. Okay, now let me quickly show you by running this what will happen when we run this. So currently if you look at here in the body part, we don't have anything at all present. We have everything in the header part only. So what will happen? It will not show you anything in the page content will be empty because there's nothing in the body. So how do we run this? It's very simple. You can just right click on the file in the project menu and choose option properties. It will show us the where this file is stored, basically the path of this file. It is showing us, yeah, it's showing us the path of the file where this particular HTML file is stored. Okay, so using this we can actually now can go and quickly check things. So I just copy this file path and come here to our Chrome browser. I would recommend all of you to use Chrome browser because it gives amazing flexibility and functionality in terms of debugging, checking the network request. Everything we'll see over a period of time slowly. Um, so that is the reason I would recommend you all of you to install Chrome browser and use that. So I just press enter and you can see it is just loading with an empty page. So currently if you see, there's nothing which is available over here in this page because we haven't put anything in the body. Okay. So now what is the best technique to learn? The best technique is to learn to switch to the web perspective and dock your Eclipse window on the left and dock your Chrome window on the right. Okay, what is the advantage of doing like this? Advantage is you can write the code here directly and change the code over here directly, and on the right you just say refresh, it will reload your Chrome browser and show you the result. So both the things hand to hand you have kept, so that it will be so easy for you to make the changes and see the result right away. So I'll come here and you see there's a title. I just change this title and see what happens. So I just change this title to welcome to HTML5. I save this on Eclipse on the left, come back and reload the page, and you can see on the right, on the top in the title bar of the browser, the title of the page has been changed to welcome to HTML5. Yeah. So you can see the use of title. What is that use of title? Now coming to the meta tags. Meta tag is about the metadata information. So meta tags are used to store metadata about the document. Like, what is the metadata? Metadata is data about data. If you look at any object, let's say laptop, so what is the metadata of the laptop? It's about the data of the laptop itself, like what is the RAM size, what is the hard disk size, motherboard speed, how much memory you can attach to it, what will be the power backup time. All these are metadata of the laptop. Similarly, any HTML document, the metadata describes the property of the document, like what type of character set it can support, types of characters it can support, like can it support Japanese, Chinese characters. That is defined using character encoding. So there are different types of character encoding like ASCII, UTF-6, UTF-8. So our purpose is not to go depth inside the encoding type, but this is just about explanation. To the browser it can tell that yes, it can support the Chinese characters. So when user is entering the data, user can enter data in Chinese also, because character encoding is supporting that. Okay, types of character. And then we have the details about keywords. So HTML is basically about building your website. So if you build your website and put it into an internet space, how will the search engines will find your website? Search engines will be Google, Bing, Microsoft Bing, and Yahoo Search. All these people will be able to find your website only provided that you attach keywords with your website, right? So then only search engines can find your website on the internet. So these keywords we also specify into the meta, using the meta tag into the header part of the website. Then author, who has authored this website, description. Okay, so let me show you an example. I just quickly go to the google.com and show you that if I search for, let's say, UI5 training here. Okay, I just search for UI5 training. So this is UI5 training is the keyword. So Google, I am doing a Google search with this keyword. How Google will now find my website relevant for this keyword? Because I maintained the same keyword into my website. So when Google is searching over the internet, Google will see that, hey, there's a file by Anubhav who has a keyword maintained as UI5 training. So that should come in the search results, right? So that is how Google will find my website. And then when I do enter, let's say my website is found, and you can see here there's this website coming up. Yeah. And there's a small description which is also coming up along with the website. You can see easy way to learn UI5 and all, right? This is a quick description which is also coming with the website. So how this is coming, this is what the description is, what we give using meta tag into the header part of the HTML. So all these things we can specify using the meta tag. So these are all the information which we can quickly provide using meta tag. So let me just show you how do we do it. Though it will not have any impact onto the functionality, it will not, you will not see any major impact on here over here, but it will have an impact in terms of site performance on the search engines and all. Okay, so let me show you. We'll provide some more meta tags. So I just type ME, and you can see the beauty of using Eclipse is it automatically displays me the keyword help. So when I'm typing it, it displays me what could be the best possible input over here. That's called keyword help. It is also known as the IntelliSense. People who are not aware, it's also known as intelligence of the keyword typing. Okay, IntelliSense. So you can see it's showing me meta. I can just simply double click also, it will generate the meta tag for me automatically. So I just say here the property name, whatever property I want to specify. So I want to specify the value for keywords. So keywords is my property name, and then my property content is equals to, let's say if somebody is looking for UI5 training, this website should be useful for them. So that's my first keyword. And then somebody is looking for Fiori training, this website will be useful, and then it should be used and found out by Google or any other search engine on the web. Then you can also tell more meta tags. So meta name equals to, I got to give some description of this website, what this website is all about. So that is what I can also tell. This website will help us to learn UI5. Yeah, so that's my quick information about this website. Who has written this website? All this information I can tell using meta tag. Okay, so this is nothing but your brain power. You are basically telling different characteristics about your HTML5 brain. Okay, now you must be wondering that all the tags are ending, but meta tag I have not created a slash meta. You can also do that, but that's the beauty of HTML5. In HTML5 what they've done is they made the HTML document very smart. So some tags you really don't need to give slash end. Okay, like meta tag or input tag, you don't really need to give slash end tag. So it automatically sends. What it does is when you start a meta tag, until another meta tag is started, it will treat it as a single meta tag content. Okay, so that's the beauty of HTML5. In XHTML, the previous version of HTML, this would have given you a syntax error. You can see the first line itself, I am not ending it with slash meta tag, so then it would have given you a syntax error in the earlier versions of. But with HTML5 it is very smart. It understand where the content is starting and where it is ending. So you really can skip a couple of statements like this, ending it with slash for some of the tags like meta tag or input tag. You can skip it. Okay, it is possible to skip and it will still work. So I just save it, refresh it, though it doesn't have any impact on my body because I've not put till now anything inside the body. I'm just changing the metadata information so that this website can be found on the internet. Okay, though it typically right now it is not deployed on the internet, but yes, it can be searched with these keywords on the internet if at all I want to make this live. Okay, now coming to the body tag, in this body tag we will be putting some content. Okay, so basically HTML is a tag library. It's a markup language, so it's built up of HTML tags. So there are different tags which we will be exploring now. Each tag has its own meaning and own uses. So let me show you first the very basic tag called heading tag. So I type H and you can see there are 6 heading tags: h1, h2, h3, h4. So there are 6 types of heading tags. I'll show you the difference between them. So I use first h1 tag. You can see it has automatically generated the code when I selected the h1 tag from the IntelliSense. And now I just say what is HTML5. Save this and come on the right and just refresh, and there you go. You can see um, the data is coming up for what I've entered. This is basically the heading tag, what it is displaying to us. Now next I just use in heading 2, displaying the same thing, what is HTML5. I request all of you to please do not do copy paste of this code. I will share this file with you, but don't create your HTML by copying this content from this file. You got to write every line from your own hand, one by one, until you become, until you reach to some comfort level with HTML. Okay, that's the best way of learning. Don't do copy paste. Once you're comfortable, then do copy paste to speed up your development. Till then, don't do copy paste. Okay, there you come, and I refresh again, and you can see another heading is created. So now you can see the difference. So heading 1 is more bolder and more bigger in terms of font size as compared to heading 2. Similarly, you can see heading 3. So I just say h3, and we just say what is HTML5. Save this, and then you can see heading 3 is even more smaller as compared to heading 2. Yeah, like this you can check till heading 6. Now how do we comment out the code? So suppose I want to comment out this heading 1. So every programming language has possibility to comment out some piece of code. Basically it is needed when you don't need that piece of code for you at that point of time, but you may need it in future. So you still want to keep the code but don't want it to run. So here in HTML we use the stereo sign, exclamation, hyphen, hyphen to create a commented code. So you can see whatever I create inside this block of exclamation sign, hyphen, hyphen, it will be commented. So let me show you. There you go. Save this, refresh, and you can see there it is. It's gone. The heading 1 is gone. Yeah. So you can also delete the code if you want. Save this, come on the right, and you can see it's just left with one heading 2 tags. Yeah. So that's how we comment out the code in HTML. Now I'll show you another element called P. P stands for paragraph element. Okay. So paragraph starting and paragraph ending, and whatever I want to write, I can type in here. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language. It decides what UI elements we wish to see on the screen. Okay, it only decides what UI elements like button, checkbox, what we want to see on the screen. Okay, typically used to create static web pages. Why static web pages? Because they don't have any logic. You can't put a plus b and any kind of logic while creating the website with pure HTML. So there you go, and wow, what we can see, the paragraph has come in automatically just beneath our description. Okay, now what I can also do is I can type in here. If you look at here on the response on the right, uh, you got typically the details of this HTML, and every letter or every word in this particular paragraph having same font. Yeah, so I want this particular piece, which is the abbreviation of HTML. This is basically the description of HTML, full form of HTML, to be in a different look and feel. Okay, this piece in a different look and feel, hypertext markup language. So I can use another element called EM. EM stands for emphasize. So whatever I basically put inside the EM block, that particular text will be emphasized. EM. Okay, EM, and I refresh, and then you can see it is little italic in nature and with emphasized text, hypertext markup language, little emphasized. You can also use another tag called b tag to make it look bolder. So I can use b tag to make it look little bolder. Okay, so now save this, come back, and you can see it is italic plus bold text. Yeah, in between the paragraph you can use these tags: emphasized, italic, bold, small, strong, sub. You have subscripted, you have inserted text, deleted text, marked text. So if I want, this text to appear with a strike through line, I can use a del element, which is deleted text basically. Yeah, save this, come back, and you can see this particular line, this particular block is strike through. Yeah. So there are different tags for character formatting available in HTML. Our purpose here is to not to learn HTML5. Our purpose is just to get a complete idea about different tag libraries. Okay, and overall understand how HTML works, HTML5, and how HTML5 is different than other versions of HTML. That is our main purpose, not having in-depth knowledge on pure HTML, because we are not going to use HTML to build the UI5 applications. UI5 framework will build the HTML for us. We will not directly use HTML to build our pages. Okay. Now, moving on to the next set of elements, I will show you another set of elements called list elements. So there are two types of list elements. It's called ordered list and unordered list. So first, let me show you UL tag, unordered list. It's called UL, unordered list. So in this, I'll show you. So every list will have list items. So you can see this is a UL tag, unordered list, and it has list items. So I can put list item using li tag, list item tag. So these tag names are fixed, guys. You cannot use your own tag names. If you use your own tag names, the result is not going to appear. Okay. So li tag here, and I just say probably some list of fruits. So I say apple, and then I say another fruit, let's say orange, and then probably I would say lychee, and one more fruit I can choose, probably banana. And come on the right and just refresh, and you can see there are these set of fruits which have come in: apple, orange, lychee, and banana, right? So this is, every item is a list item, and it's an unordered list, which means it comes with a bullet point. Now if I just show you creating an ordered list, or OL stands for ordered list, and put the same tags what we have kept here inside this, you will see a different result. Let me just put the same tags: apple, lychee, orange, and banana, and then you save this, come on the right, and you see here the response displays you the data with ordered list. So you can see 1 2 3 4. So it's an ordered list control. So one is unordered list and one is ordered list. So this is how, the lists can be displayed, can be created. So you can have different lists like this. Next tag, very important tag, it's called anchor tag. Anchor tag is typically used to create the links. So if I want to, you might have seen a lot of websites, most of the websites, Facebook, Twitter, they all are link based. So you say, you click here, it navigates you to another page or probably another website, right? So you see a lot of advertisements on the Facebook. So you click on one of the advertisement link, it takes you to that particular website. Okay, so how they create it, they create using anchor tag. Very powerful tag, the most important one, anchor tag. This tag will help you to create the links. So I would just say click here to check content. So I just save this, come back on the right and refresh, and you can see there's a this anchor is created. Click here to check content. When I click, nothing is happening. Okay, nothing is happening. Why? It's simple reason. This is a link and it's supposed to take you to some web address. Since you have not provided the web address, it will definitely not be able to take you to anywhere, right? So we got to give some web address. That's very important when we are creating a link. Okay, so where we give that, we give it inside the properties of this tag. And there's a property, you can also browse all the properties related to a tag by pressing control space. So we come inside the tag and press control space, and it displays us all the possible properties for that particular tag. You can see here it is displaying me, right? So here you can see it's displaying me all the properties of that particular tag. So there's a property called href property. Yeah. So I use this href property, and here I can type now a web address. So let's say http column slash slash www dot online UI5 training.com. That's my website where it will take me now. So when I click on this link, it will take me to this particular web address. Okay, save this, come and refresh the page, and now you can see it's clickable. It has got an underline automatically beneath it. I simply just go and click on this, and now you can see something is running on onto the browser. And yes, you can see the address is also changed into the browser URL. And wow, it takes me to my website, which is also built using HTML5. So this website, what you see here, is also built using HTML5. I built this website using HTML5. Okay, so it takes me to my website. I just press back button, it takes me back to our page again. So that's how you can create the link. You can basically build all the important links. Let's say you can create your own website with all the important blogs and links together with a lot of anchor tags as per your choice. That's not all. There's also a very important thing. What we can also do is we can build the anchors along with the list. So there is a possibility in HTML we can merge the elements. So if you see here, we have created a list. So what will happen is, with this list I possibly want to create it a clickable list. Okay, so I can merge the anchors. So let me show you. So I create anchor inside the list. See, I have created anchor inside the list, and I just name it, let's say, UI5 training. And then another anchor I am creating inside the list. So basically I'm adding the links inside the list. Okay, clickable list it will become. And then there's a Fiori training, and then probably another anchor, let's say webbed intro training. And then I can also have another anchor for, let's say, BRF plus training, or workflow training, or ABAP training, or OOPSABAP training. I have all these videos posted free of cost onto the YouTube. Anybody can go and browse them. So let me quickly go to my channel on YouTube and quickly take up the links from there. Okay, one second. The Chrome browser stopped responding. Quickly close it. We can open it again. Yes, there you go. Got to restore everything. Yes, there we go. Yeah, so I go to YouTube now, and I will quickly browse through my channel to look at all the videos which are available for these different topics. So I go there and I just go to my Creator Studio. So that's my Creator Studio. And now here I can quickly take up the links. So I have a couple of videos in my dashboard. So, and I will just say right click on the video and copy the link address for Fiori. So this is the Fiori one. So I say href is equals to Fiori here. Yeah, and then I would also view more videos. all the videos which are present over here will come up, and then I will use UI5 training video. So right click, copy the link address and put it here. UI5 href is equals to this, and then possibly the BRF training video. Right click, copy the link address and put for that href equals to this, and the last one possibly the WebDin Pro training. So where is WebDin Pro video? Yes, here we go. Right click, copy the link address, and we come back and put the href for this link as well. So it has become a library of the training videos. Okay, so I come on the right and refresh, and you can see there you go, UI5 training, Fiori training, WebDin Pro training, and BRF training. So I can choose whichever I want. Let's say I want to browse the Fiori training video, so just click on this. It directly takes me to the YouTube and starts playing the video over there. So you can see here I am creating the Fiori training video. So I have created my own library which is connected to the YouTube videos, and it takes me there, and accordingly I can watch any of the video which I wish to watch, right? So you can also, you have different links for different your favorite videos. You can create a quick list and connect each of the list item with your favorite video on YouTube. You just click on it, it takes you to the corresponding YouTube video. So now you can see how they are doing it. They are not doing any magic. They are also doing the same thing, creating an anchor tag and putting the href, the reference, where it should take you onto the page. The Facebook, Gmail, everybody is doing like this. Now next, what we will see is an image tag. So image tag is typically used to create the images. So let me show you how we can use this image tag. So I create an img tag. Img stands for image. Okay, and now with respect to this image, I just end this tag also. And for image, we need to give the source where the image is coming. Okay, so you can also generate quickly the code for image tag just by pressing Control space, and you can see automatically it has put ALT and SRC. So ALT is alternate text and SRC is the source of the image. So let's say if the source of the image is not found, what will happen is it will display the text what you enter in ALT. It's called alternate text. So I just say image not found. Save this. So what will happen is sometimes you might have seen in some websites where images doesn't load properly. So then when it doesn't load, they show you this type of text, image not found. So how do they do it? They just put in alternate text, image not found text. So when the image, you can see I have not specified the source, so definitely it's not going to find any image now. So it will throw this particular text to the user. So let me refresh, and you can see image not found, which means there is no image available, though it's an image control, but it doesn't find the source image. So that's why the alternate text is displayed, whatever we write. Okay, I'll take all your questions. Just hold on for a minute. And now we will give a source property. So I got to give a source property. So I have an image in my computer. Okay. So I have an image folder in my computer. You can see there's a D drive SAP UI5 folder. I have image folder. Okay. And from this folder, I can use any image. So there's an image here for gold and silver. So probably I will use that image. So let me copy the path. And the file name is goldsilver.jpg. Save this. Done. Now let's come back, and now we got to refresh the page. So let's refresh the page, and you can see there's an image which is coming in. But since the image is very large, what's happening is it's actually occupying a lot of area on the page. It's a very large image. Okay, so I can actually restrict that also, the basically the dimension of the image using height and width property. So height property, I would just say 200 pixels, and then I can say width property also has 200 pixels. Save this, refresh the page, and you can see now the image is little on the lower side. So this is how you can display the image onto the web page if you want, using img tag. So it's time for the questions. So let's take up the questions. So first question from Naganjana. If I want to update my website based on other website updates, if any other update and video, then it should be automatically updates in my website. Is it possible? What will happen is, let's say you have connected your YouTube video with your link, and this particular link, okay, at this particular link, the content is changed. Okay, the content is changed. In that case, you again have to come and change it in your website. That is the reason you see sometimes even the bigger websites, big shot website, they crashes. They say something is wrong, Facebook says something is wrong, Google says something is wrong. Why? They are addressing to a static web address. When you click on the link, it takes you there, but the content has been removed from there. Like sometimes you might see some YouTube video link on some website. The moment you click, it takes you to youtube.com, but there it says content has been removed, right? So it's always a static reference, you cannot change it. But yes, there is a possibility. We have different plugins available these days with the HTML5, which you can use to generate the web addresses dynamically, but that too is not very accurate. If you really want to accurately go to a address, you have to give the static address. It will not change automatically. You got to change things on your own. Okay. Next question is from Indresh. How can we add image icon on title of browser like YouTube have? So basically you want an icon over here, right? You want possibly an icon to be displayed over there, right? So we will see in this in the coming chapter how can we add an icon for our website of HTML5 on the top. So that's what we are going to see in probably in the next session, guys. So I will show you that. Okay, let me take up the next question. Order of elements like em and b, does it make difference in the display text? No, it will not make difference, Shantanu. Whether you put the bold tag later or whether you put bold tag earlier, it doesn't make any difference. Emphasized and bold tags, they are completely different. They're the way you put it, it doesn't matter in this particular case. Okay, it doesn't matter. You put bolder first, emphasize later, doesn't matter. Just tags. They are each of the tag is doing their own job. But make sure the nesting is proper. If you started the emphasize tag first, it should end last. If you started the bolder tag first, it should end first. Okay. That's important. That nesting is important. Apart from that, the order doesn't matter. Okay. Any other questions, guys, before we close today's class? So we see here we have got a couple of HTML elements seen today: heading tags, paragraph tags, anchor tag, links, lists, order lists, unordered list, image tags. So that's enough for the day. I request all of you to please install Eclipse today as per the guidelines mentioned initially of the session. With the links are also there into the blog, and start practicing this. So this is our first class. In tomorrow's class also we'll see more of HTML5. Okay, we'll see some more interesting elements and how to make use of HTML5 in detail. And then we will start with CSS, which is our next chapter, cascading style sheets. So currently if you see, it looks like a very crude web page. It doesn't have any coloring, it doesn't have any styling. It's of more of a crude web page with a lot of content into it. So how we can do the styling to our content, that's what we'll see in the next session, next to next session, which is CSS. This is just the beginning. So I request all of you to please practice this much, and then we will see tomorrow some more examples. I will also show you how to explore the library of controls for HTML5. So you may not, you are quite new to it and you may not be able to remember all these stuff, right? So that's why I'll show you where you can find the good reference about each of the tag and different options for these tags. Yeah. So on that note, it's a wrap on today's class. Please feel free to ask your questions onto the blog what we have. If you face any issue related to access on the blog, feel free to write to me. I will provide you the necessary access. Already the access has been given to you. Whatever we have seen in today's class, the video will be available after 2 hours onto the blog. So you can watch the video, whatever we have seen, and start even practicing that. So if you miss out anything in the session, you can cover it from video also. Okay. So on that note, let's end this session over here, and I will see all of you tomorrow again in this at the same time.